I want to teach you how to do Sabrage, and I'm going to begin by showing you a screen recording of me doing it successfully and unsuccessfully. And then I'm going to pick up the bottle of champagne that I have right next to me and several implements, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, okay? So now let me share my screen for a moment. So here is a video. Maybe I can make it a little bit bigger. Is that any bigger for you guys? Okay. So let's see how it looks. Awesome. So there's a little bit of a lag in the video, but you can see. And what's really cool is I could actually slow this down. So I'm going to slow it down really slow. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a failed attempt as well, so you can see like what might happen if you don't succeed the first time and why that might be the case. But in general, it's actually very easy. What the deal is that once I take off the cage, the metal cage that goes over the cork, it's going to expose a glass lip. And this lip is a vulnerability point for this bottle because of the pressure that's built up from the carbonation inside of the champagne. So it actually only takes a very small amount of direct pressure on right underneath this lip to completely bust the entire glass lip. And the key is to find the seam of the bottle. So I'll see if I can expose. So can you see that there's a seam right here? There's like a line that goes vertically down the champagne bottle. Usually there's one in the front and the back. So there's probably another seam back here. Yes, so you can kind of see in the reflection of the light that there's a seam right here. So where this seam, the seam goes from the bottom of the bottle all the way up to the top. There's one on the front and one on the back. So where that seam meets the glass lip is exactly where the vulnerability is. So you're just exploiting a vulnerability in the glass and it busts. And all the glass that breaks off goes outside of the bottle. So it's totally like fine to drink it afterwards. You do want to do it outside because the tip of the bottle shoots off with quite a lot of force and it gets a lot of distance. So I would just recommend doing it outside. Also, assign someone to pay attention to where the tip of the bottle goes. Usually if there's any kids around, like they're really good at like seeing where the tip of the bottle goes because what breaks off is very sharp. And if you have a dog or something who might like be excited to go investigate or try to lick it, you wouldn't want that because it could hurt. So you want to go retrieve the part that came off because it's going to be really sharp. And you also want to remember that the part that you exposed is also very sharp. So, make sure not to touch it. It's not going to be jagged, it's going to be smooth, but it'll be sharp. So, you just want to be safe in that regard and don't do it toward any objects or any people. Like, just make sure that you have an open space in front of you. And the key is you can literally do this with a spoon. It doesn't need to be a knife. It's just like looks cool with a knife. But I could even take this spoon and as long as I find the seam of the bottle and I apply direct pressure and I slide up, I have to take the foil off. I have to take the cage off. The cork is in there, but everything else is gone. As long as I go like this right up here, it will pop off. It doesn't even take a lot of pressure. It doesn't take anything sharp. The object doesn't need to be sharp and you don't even need to do it very hard. So if you do it with a kitchen knife, then I would recommend doing it with the back of the knife so that you don't mess up your nice kitchen blades. So I would do it like this. not like this, right? And then it's fun to do it with a sword if you have a sword. And I've learned that you just want to do it with like not necessarily the side of the sword that's close to the handle, like that I can't get as much force. But if I do it more with the tip of the sword, not the tip, but like toward the edge, and I can share better by screen sharing again, that it just is a little bit easier to go off. So I find that the things that make it difficult, or the first time I tried, the reason why it didn't work is because I was anticipating the lip and I was lifting the knife up a little bit. So you see how like this trajectory is going like this? You don't want that. You want the trajectory to be down. So you're gonna like slide it direct. Even though the bottle has like this loop, if you're kind of shy and you're like, it won't work. So you have to just, your emotion has to be very direct. And you want to slide across the bottle the whole time. I don't want this to open. So I mean, the cage is on anyway, but you're going to directly slide it. So I'm going to show you some, a failed attempt so you can see like what doesn't work. And then I'll show you another success attempt as well. So you can see the common denominator between the two. So this is my first time trying, and you can just observe me and what I do that doesn't work, so you know how to avoid it. The thing I'm curious about is, do you use your right hand or your left hand, your dominant hand, to hold the bottle? Visually, it'd be better this way, but
it seems like whatever hand feels more comfortable using a sword probably is the one that should hold the sword.
Yeah, I think so. Can you all hear the video?
You see the scene?
Okay.
Okay.
So I was just like, what hand should I hold it in? You should hold the champagne bottle in your non-dominant hand, and you should do the sabrage with your dominant hand, is what I feel works best. And now I'm wondering, like, which part of the sword am I going to use is what I'm wondering. So I'm repositioning it, like, how should I try?
Or you want to do it close to the handle or away from the handle? Yeah, the middle.
So see how I'm trying to do it in the middle of the sword right here. That's like a little bit close to the handle. It actually works better if I had done it toward the edge of the sword, because it's a little heavier there. So I just have more like weight helping me, but you could probably do it with the end, but.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, I've been videotaping this whole thing. Yeah, just do it like this. Just do it like this. Nothing bad can happen. Just go for it. Go for it strongly. Full confidence.
I'm getting a pep talk.
Confidence. You've done this a million times. You're gonna pop that cork right off. Okay,
but you could even see in my practice times when I was like miming through it, I'm kind of lifting the sword like with a circle trajectory, and that's why it's not working. You have to drive the sword down into the lip, not glide it like with a circle shape, like woo. You just have to drive it directly down.
Good practice. This is a good practice one. Okay. Ooh, okay, yeah, you had some more force there. I like that.
Another thing is like you're holding the champagne bottle, and if you move the champagne bottle down as you do it, then you're like not getting as much force. But if you hold it steady, almost even pressing it up as you press this object down, or the sword down, then they'll be pushing against each other. So you want to, so like the temptation is to kind of take both of the things down, but you don't. You want to hold the champagne bottle still as you do the sword.
It's a lot of sword to handle, really. Yeah.
It's just sliding off is the thing. But now here's me actually doing it successfully.
Oh my god!
So it worked. I'll slow it down again so you can see. It was really just like very slight things that I adjusted. I did a direct motion instead of like a swoop up, and I just had a little more confidence. And then I also I made sure not to like drop the champagne bottle down as I was moving the sword, and I kept the champagne bottle like steady. So I'll just slow it down so you can see in slow motion again. It's really funny in slow motion. So as you can see, I ended up accidentally like moving the champagne bottle forward as I'm moving the sword. It's like you don't want to do that either. You want to keep the champagne bottle still because it's going to make it harder if you're like, and move both things forward. Like you don't want to move both things forward. You want to hold this still and then drive the sabraging object forward underneath the lip along the seam. Okay, and since this first ever attempt, um, I've done it successfully many times, and my partner's done it successfully. It's actually pretty easy once you know the trick of following the seam, and you just hold the bottle confidently, and it does. And you, if you don't, be safe. Do it outside. Make sure nobody's in the trajectory. Make sure you go retrieve the sharp thing at the end. And if you're going to use a kitchen knife, use the back of it so you don't mess with the blade of your kitchen knives. If you don't want to use a sharp object, you can use a spoon. It's really not about the sharpness. The sword is just like entirely for show. And as long as you just get the mechanics down, you can use like whatever strong object you have. Any questions about how to do sabrage? Well, I want you to, if you do try it, release me of all liability. I release myself of all liability. And if you do try it, videotape it and like let me know. I've thought about doing I might do like a social media challenge where I'm like, okay, this is how to do it. Now do it, and then like come up with a hashtag or something. So I might do that in the next couple weeks or something, but I'm not positive. So I just wanted to teach you all because Lacey asked, she was really curious. And I hope that makes you excited to try. And it's actually quite easy, so don't be nervous. And one thing I learned is that if you try to buy the cheapest bottle of champagne, they're freaking twist offs, and you can't do it with a twist off. So the time when I did it in the red dress that I first showed you, when I got all dressed up, like put on a red dress, put on lipstick, went to the liquor store, got some champagne, set up a tripod, got ready to film myself, and I'm opening the thing, I'm on camera and everything, and I'm realized it's a freaking twist off. So I had to pack up all my stuff in the little field that I was in, go back to the liquor store, buy a slightly more expensive bottle of champagne, and come back and try it all over again. So beware the super cheap bottles because they are twist offs and it will not work.